A KOMU investigation has found a local problem with links in 4 different states. Good evening, I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Emily Spain. As you may recall, we first told you about the Regency Mobile Home Park in October when its residents were rallying for help. Now in this Target 8 investigation, the company that owns Regency has a widespread history of similar problems. Stretching across 38 acres and home to hundreds of trailers, this park has been here for years.
It was a beautiful place at one time. And that's what we need, is to get the riffraff out and start over.
The Regency of Columbia purchased this property from Mark Holding Company back in 1993, and residents say the last of those 17 years has been the worst.
We're getting kicked out of our homes, and no one knows from day to day if they're going to be there.
With high electric bills or being overcharged for their rent, being evicted for whatever the reason may be, for their reasons, I can say.
The trees, the potholes, and when you ask the management to do anything or you submit a request, there's no recognition or anything. They just don't care.
Their concerns are echoed miles away and across state lines where other people in Regency mobile home parks are speaking out against the Churchill Group.
Residents tell us basic repairs are not being done.
This report comes from Wise TV out of Fort Wayne, Indiana in September. People there complained of poor living conditions, dangerous debris, and corrupt business practices.
They're just not treating everybody right. This property is just awful.
Down south, the Louisville, Kentucky Regency Park got shut down in July 2009.
You might have thought a tornado blew through the mobile home park.
Wave 3 reports that more than a year later, the city is still trying to get the Churchill Group to clean up the mess. And now north to Iowa, where 2 parks, one in Sioux City, the other in Iowa City, echo the complaints.
It's really tough to live in a community that has gotten so downtrodden.
So downtrodden, the state's Attorney General's office started an investigation.
When you're looking at people not being able to keep the homes they paid for or not being able to live in decent conditions, that does prompt us to take action.
Assistant Attorney General Bellis leads the investigation of Regency in Iowa and says his office takes housing issues very seriously.
These are people that were living in pretty poor conditions, doing the best they could, and at risk of losing their homes. And that kind of thing often triggers attention by our office.
We found the Churchill Group owned parks listed in Iowa City, Sioux City, Fort Wayne, Louisville, Goddard, Kansas, Hutchinson, Kansas, and Canby, Oregon. All tie back to Carbondale, Colorado's Churchill Group and company owner George Gradeau. Gradeau, married to former Playmate Barbie Benton, has already been locked up because of his past business decisions. Court documents show a U.S. district judge convicted Gradeau in 2006 for attempt to corruptly interfere with the administration of the Internal Revenue laws. The judge sentenced Gradeau to 15 months at a federal prison camp in Colorado. News reports in Colorado say he pleaded guilty to tax fraud and changing financial documents. Bringing it back home, Gradeau's name is listed as president of Columbia's Regency on Secretary of State documents, tying it to Gradeau and the growing list of complaints and litigation surrounding his company. And from Iowa,
The corporation doesn't seem to want to help with anything because this place is a joke to them. All they've been is money hungry.
To Columbia.
When you're putting children out in the street because of money, I've always heard the saying, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, it's very true.
At least these residents are not alone.
It needs to be exposed.
In their battle against Churchill. Churchill's corporate office has not returned any of KOMU8's calls, and its local representatives refuse to comment. Missouri's Attorney General's office is not investigating the Regency in Columbia. A spokesperson told KOMU the AG's office cannot help with landlord-tenant issues.